is Friday, November 18th, 2022. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It's a Friday puzzle today, which means a themeless puzzle, and in fact, it was constructed by the Queen of the Friday, Robin Weintraub. So that's very exciting. But first, this queenly edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by Laura Sexton, Victoria Rajishka, and, as always, the inestimable Hood Monster, the invaluable Timothy Mark, and the indomitable Shellmaster. So thank you so much to the 5 of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, for sustaining this channel on a sustainable basis. And if you'd like to join their ranks and get access as a benefactor and get access to the Daily Solve Let's Check the Crosses mug, you can, of course, find that at patreon.com/dailysolve or in the description field underneath the video, in a link there. And of course, at that very same link, you can become a patron to the channel at any level and get access to all of the bonus videos that have gone up on the channel to date, as well as the new ones that go up each week, such as, just most recently, the latest Boss Words Fall Themeless League competition puzzle. This was definitely a better performance than last week for me. Last week, a bit of a disaster. This week went all right. Wasn't my best time ever, but far from my worst. So I'll take it. And that's up there if you're a patron. Also, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you can join the Daily Solve Discord chat server. That's in a link in the description field as well. And now let's get on to the puzzle. This is a Friday crossword, a Friday themeless crossword constructed by Robin Weintraub, an incredibly experienced Friday constructor. I'm sure she's constructed plenty of other days as well, but is best known for her Friday puzzles. And it was edited, as always, by Will Shorts. So let's start solving. Nickname for the Los Angeles Angels. I don't know. Web code initials. HTML, maybe? Hypertext markup language, I think. Great job you did for me, sarcastically or not. That was something, or that's great. I wouldn't repeat the word great. Call of port, ahoy, maybe. In other words, you see the port from a ship and you cry ahoy, maybe. Okay. Compound used to make soft pretzels, lye, is used in the making of soft pretzels. I do know that. And one of 26 in Texas's Katy Freeway. Wow, it must be a 26-lane highway. Wow, okay. Nickname for the Los Angeles Angels. Oh, they must be the Halos, referencing their name, the Angels. That makes sense. What a raised index finger might represent. It might represent the number 1. Oh, thanks a lot. Great job you did for me, sarcastically or not. Right, okay, that's very true. That works better than whatever it was I was imagining earlier. You could say thanks a lot completely sincerely or incredibly sarcastically. Get out while you're still up. Not seeing that. Bill collectors looks like money something. Question mark. Bill collectors, question mark. Why is there a question mark? I would have assumed the question mark would have meant it's not money related and it's maybe related to the bills of a bird or something like that, but it doesn't seem to be. Get out while you're still up. Get out. What is out meaning here? Is it taking a nap or something? What is a punny way that we could read that? Get out. Oh, skydive, maybe. You get out. Get out of the plane while you're up in the sky. Wow, okay. There we go. Eccentric is dotty, maybe? And cafe offering, I'm not sure offhand. Hesitate. Wait up. Selfish toddler's cry. Mine. Maybe not wait up. Okay, oh, scone at a cafe. Could be offered, fair enough. So, what about this? 1962, number 1 hit. It's a Halloween favorite, the Monster Mash. There we go. I saw a video of whoever it was who originally performed the the Monster Mash. He was performing it at what looked like a house party at age 92, I think. I mean, he was, I think he died just a couple of years later. This wasn't very long ago. This was, a few years ago. And he was saying something like Elvis thought this was or maybe I found this quote separately, and that's what's led me to seek out the performance. But, in his later years, he said something like Elvis said this was the stupidest song he ever heard. Well, he's gone and I'm still around. So, I don't know. I just thought that was sort of amazing. Anyway, I don't remember his name, which is unfortunate. Okay, hesitate is halter, maybe? Let's just wait and see. Hit the ground is blat or something? I don't know. Roger's relative. Wonder if it means Roger as in a response on a radio. They left behind one of their own in a 1982 film. E.T.'s? This area is really eluding me, isn't it? What else can we do? Here, there, and everywhere. All over something. Guy at the front of a long line. Adam? So if we sort of imagine Adam at the beginning of the human race, I suppose. Okay. Pre-Euro currency could be the lira. And twin daughter on Blackish. I've seen a few episodes of this, but I don't remember. Don't remember. Superior dwelling. It's just a few. I'm aware it looks like Diane. I'm just wondering if there are other, because there's sort of Dion as in Dionne Warwick, but that has two N's in it. So I was just conscious that I've recently made some mistakes by assuming things and then tripping me up for ages. But it probably is Diane. Torah holders could be arcs. Arrive at the same point. Oh, right. Lira with an E and then meet. So, okay, this is going to be Diane because superior dwellings, say, I think refers to Lake Superior, maybe? So superior, so dwellings by a lake, say, lake houses. There we go. Okay, I've heard this 1,000 times already. Here we go again. There we go, that's good. Gray in a Picture. Dorian, The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. Okay, the novel, I mean. Current phenomenon, a rip as in a riptide, currents in an ocean. Curmudgeon, is a grump. And spent some time in the outback, perhaps. Drove, right. There's a model of car called the Outback, and I think that's what this is referring to, as opposed to the namesake of that model of car, which would be, the Australian Outback, for instance. The horse fair artist Bonheur. Rosa, presumably? Ominous could be grim, and St. Ives' destination in a rhyming riddle, right? There was a man, was it going to St. Ives, and he had 7 wives, and this and that, and all sorts of different things. Okay, I don't remember I very obviously don't remember the full poem, or even very much of one line of it. Okay, work harmoniously. To mesh, right? And so ominous is grim. Okay, there we go. That all worked out. Kind of butter used in skin cream, shea butter, you hear about often being used in skincare products. And lender requiring collateral up front would be a pawn shop. In fact, that's the whole point of it, is you give the collateral to receive a loan. But I guess the sort of way that those businesses work is that it ends up often not being collateral. It ends up just being essentially a purchase or a sale. Malice could be spite, and a Glengarry is one in the shape of a boat. A hat, right, okay. I don't think I knew that. That's good, good sort of obscure knowledge, I suppose. Stale is trite, so as in a bit of language, sort of stale cliche, trite bit of language. Put in the paper, you could run a story in the newspaper. And Lorana blank, Kermit's name in the Latin American version of Sesame Street. Oh, that's interesting. But I don't know what it is offhand. But we'll have to come back to it. So here, there, and everywhere is all over. Still not sure. And Roger's relative. I'm not sure about that either. This area is still remaining shrouded in mystery. Hit the ground. Part of many commands, abbreviation. I mean, it could be something like control for commands on it. Keyboard commands, maybe. I'm just going to try that just in case because it fits in 4 letters. Goes around in circles. Laps, maybe? Runs laps or swims laps. I guess swimming isn't circular, but swim laps aren't generally. Resort hotel with the slogan, "This is how we Vegas." I don't know. Trying to think if I know enough Las Vegas resort hotels to be able to run through a list. I don't think I particularly do. I mean, I don't know. The MGM Grand is something. I mean, I don't think I know enough to bother trying. Oh, no, wait. It was... Oh, sorry. I read the wrong thing. How do I keep doing that? That's very strange. Oh, I see. It's because there's still this little blue highlight here. And for some reason, I need to remember to look up above because that bit never lies. I make so many mistakes reading the wrong one, the wrong clue over there. Anyway, so in fact, the clue here is fit for a daredevil. And the resort hotel is 4 letters ending in A. I still don't think that helps me. Woodworking tool similar to a kitchen zester, a rasp, because it's used to sort of, shave off or file off bits of material. Shipment that might include a note saying "miss you," a care package that it sounds like in this case a parent has sent to a child at, I don't know, an overnight camp or a boarding school or something maybe. Okay, or university, I suppose. Okay, monitor locales. Desks. Simple as that. Computer monitors at a desk. Fit for a daredevil. Oh, if it's fit for daredevil, it's because it's risky. There we go. Okay, I don't think I recognize this resort hotel. Raccoon, humorously. Oh, well, in a very current sort of bit of language, trash panda is how... I wonder who coined that, because I feel as though about 5 years ago, maybe it was more than 5 years ago, this kind of thing always seems more recent than it actually is. But I would say, a single-digit number of years ago, somebody coined this, and it has just come up absolutely everywhere since then. Okay, it's equivalent to a cup. A trophy, I suppose. As in a cup, a trophy for having won a tournament, that kind of thing. Title for a Benedictine monk. Dawn? No. Oh, Dom. Right, of course. Yes. As in Dom. I don't even know. I can't even think of a name now. But, Dom Vittorio or something like that. I don't know. All over the map. And then La Rana Rene, Kermit's name in the Latin American version of Sesame Street. Okay, well, there we go. I hope I remember that. I probably will need to encounter it 3 times or so before I actually commit it to memory. That tends to be how this works for me. I'll see it once and then I'll see it again and think, oh, I remember seeing this, and then it'll be completely inaccessible. Okay, so now I really do need to solve this little area. Roger's relative. This doesn't look right. Put in the paper. Could be ran, because it could be past tense. There we go. Really need to watch out for that kind of thing. That can be a trap. Roger, so does that help? Roger, oh yes, it is. It is what I thought. Copy that, Roger. So you're saying on a radio, yes, I hear you. Copy that, Roger. Okay, great. So part of a watch is a shift if it's sort of I'm watching as a lookout, or it could be a watch that you wear on your wrist. Not sure. Hesitate. Falter. Why did I say halter? Bill collectors, money clips. There we go. That's why it's a question mark, because it is sort of a jokey answer, even though it does indeed deal with money. A watch face, of course. There we go. The face of a watch. And hit the ground. A lit. Right. Landed. The plane landed. It lit. And these were... Oh, right. Okay. So is this referring to the film E.T.? And so the idea is other extraterrestrials left the titular E.T. behind on Earth. I guess that's what that means. Polo on television. I'm not sure. Is there a Terry Polo? Is that someone? Old Possum's Book of Practical Cats, T.S. Eliot collection. Yes, that was the T.S. Eliot poetry collection that led to, well, that eventually inspired the Broadway musical Cats by Andrew Lloyd Webber. And then where a doctor might check for a monosynaptic reflex, one's knee. Of course, the sort of little mallet test. This does look like Terry, doesn't it? And then spotted is seen, and a specialized group could be a cadre, perhaps. Group of people who are focused on a particular task or specialty. It follows precedent, and word that can follow anything. Anything else, maybe? Follows precedent. And outfitted with up. Geared up, outfitted up. What you always get on your birthday. Older. Here's a spoiler. You also get this on every single other day. Foundation specification is foundation specification. And it follows precedent. Time spent on land, maybe. Shore visit or something? Toy from a place that no longer exists. That's an interesting clue. And where you might get cucumbers and oil. A spa, right, because you see people they put cucumbers on their eyes, and then you might have some kind of skin oil as well. So there we go, that looks at a spa. Made like you imitated someone, you made like them, you aped them. Browser button is maybe home? Do browsers still have the home button? Sorry, I wonder if I can just look up at this very browser. I don't see a home button on mine. Maybe that's something I disabled, or maybe it just isn't there by default anymore. I would suspect it's just not there by default anymore, but it once was. Okay, foundation specification is what? Shade? Why? Oh, foundation is in makeup. That's why. Great. Okay. Oh, case law follows precedent. Right. So case law, sort of body of case law formed by, years and decades of legal precedent. Time spent on land, maybe. Shore leave. There we go. Toy from a place that no longer exists. Oh, Pomeranian. That's an incredibly clever clue. Wow. So it's referring to a toy breed of dog, a Pomeranian, whose namesake no longer exists. That's an incredibly clever clue. She's great at that. Robin Weintraub is great at this kind of thing. Okay, sci-fi author's creation. And Ambient One, Music for Airports artist, 1978. Brian Eno, the official, certainly at least one official male musician of the New York Times crossword, I would say, I guess. Brian Eno, certainly. Okay, sci-fi author's creation. A world, I suppose. A sci-fi author creates a world. And dice in Monopoly, there's a pair. There are two dice in Monopoly. Like zeros, oval, I guess. They're simply shaped like ovals. And to watch over is to tend. Fair enough. Stockholder is a pot. You could simmer stock in a pot. There we go. All right. So there was our Friday themeless crossword, our first of two themeless crosswords for the week, and some very nice cluing. Really loved Toy from a Place That No Longer Exists. There were some other clever things as well. I'm trying to think. Oh, bill collectors, money clips, very nice. A very nice terse sort of slightly punny clue. It's punny in a way that was different to what I expected. That was very good. What else? I'm just trying to think. It's hard. Now I'm going to struggle to remember some of my other favorite clues. Oh, superior dwellings say being lake houses is very clever. That could be. I think that was helped by having a North American cultural context because Lake Superior is probably just less. It's going to be less present in your mind if you don't have that context. But I thought this was a very clever clue. So yeah, great Friday crossword. Really enjoyed this one. I always enjoy Robin Weintraub's puzzles, I have to say, and this was no exception. So finally, for the first time in a few days, let's discuss a few clues from yesterday's puzzle. In fact, I think there were only 2 comments I had, and one of them was not so much a correction for me. Well, I guess it was a sort of a more context around something I discussed, which was the song Funiculi Funicula. And I told the story about its composer and then Richard Strauss and etc. But what I didn't remember was who actually composed the song itself, Funiculi Funicula. And Craig Jones points out it was composed in 1880 by Luigi Denza with lyrics by Peppino Turco. And I looked this up as well. And Peppino Turco, the lyricist, was a journalist who actually suggested to Denza that he compose the song for the opening of the funicular railway going up Mount Vesuvius. And it sounds like he might have even suggested it as a joke. I mean, suggested it sincerely, but thinking it would be sort of a funny thing. And it must have sort of felt that way because it is an incredibly grand, I mean, it's just such a grand and sort of clearly intentionally pompous piece of music, and the fact that it's to commemorate the opening of a funicular, it feels like it must have been at least somewhat tongue-in-cheek, and it's fitting to how the song has gone on to be sort of immortalized via kind of spoof and parody. So anyway, you can really see, by the way, why Strauss thought this must have just been some kind of ageless Italian folk song, because it was really on point. It's well composed in that regard. It feels like something that would have just been around forever as some kind of melody. Okay, and Gary Britton points out, one across yearling, you stated a young deer, and then put in the answer foal. And yes, foal was the correct answer, but I mixed up deer and horses. And so I should have said a young horse was a foal, which was what I was meant. That was what I was meant to think by yearling. And it is true that yearling more often refers to horses, but I think I always associate it with young deer. I mean, yearling can be used for other animals, and I think I read the book The Yearling when I was myself very young, not a yearling, but not a 1-year-old. But I think that's why I associate it with deer, even though in this case it was meant to refer to horses. Anyway, there we go. That's it for yesterday's clues, for today's crossword, and today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back tomorrow, of course, for the Saturday crossword, a more difficult themed crossword, presumably. We'll have to see, but that is what is generally intended. So join me for that. But until then, please do have an excellent remainder of your Friday. Take care.